PPP in India. The project cost was envisaged to be over $1 billion and land payments of almost about $350 million to the Hyderabad Municipal Development Authority. Plus, there would have been revenue share of about $60 million upwards to the state over a 5-year time frame. And once the township would be completed, it would have had a population in excess of 1 lakh people. Out of the 400 acres, there was about 100 acres was acquired by us immediately, and the balance was to be delivered by the government over a period of time. Sorry.
I think you can just go extempore and finish
Sure.
in time.
Yeah.
That will be much better.
So
Now
I
the
think
screen-
the issue which has happened is that after, we've already about now that all of us put together, the 3 private sector partners, we've invested close to about $130 million about 5 years ago. And as you may be aware, I think Andhra Pradesh has been going through a lot of political flux, and there have been changes in the leadership and so on. And this has really impacted the approval process and the restructuring of the project which was required. So clearly, I think needless to say that though this project would have been quite a showcase, and it would have generated substantial employment and provided a lot of residences across different income classes, these delays have actually been a big hindrance. So I think the point I'm trying to make is that I think public-private partnerships are definitely a good model. It's conceptually, and there are many public-private partnerships which have worked extremely well. But I think there is definitely need for improvement in the model on both sides. So if I had to sort of take away 2 or 3 of our key learnings from an investment of this nature, I think one is clearly that I would say that the resources which are required from the public sector should be, the project should be structured such that the resources required from the public sector should be given to the private sector participant or the partner at the beginning itself, so that there's no need to go back. There needs to be a policy framework amongst the 2 partners wherein there are clear timelines for decision making. I think that's the other key thing. And the third thing is really have the contracts structured such that there is no ambiguity about key commercial clauses which could lead to delays, because I think most of these PPPs are large projects which will go beyond 5-7 years. There will probably be changes in government during that duration, and the model should be so robust that it's able to withstand all of those issues. So on that note, I'll end my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I think we are actually running very short of time. Last presentation, 5 minutes. Shri Akhil Bansal ji, COO KPMG India. I think we could not miss this because this is very important presentation as far as I know.
Thank you, Mr. Raheja. Respected co-panelist, distinguished guest, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon to you. First of all, let me congratulate Naredco for taking up this noble cause of identifying the root causes and coming out with the strategies as to what need to be done for urbanization and affordable housing or housing for the masses. On behalf of KPMG, I'll put it on the record that we are proud to be associated with Naredco to come up with this publication on bridging the urban housing shortages in India. Very quickly, what we have put it in the publication, very quickly I will summarize as to what the issues are, what the root causes, and what can be done in this sector. If we look at the urbanization, how things have moved between independence and 2010, almost about more than a decade, urbanization has moved from 18% to 31%. The point to be noted is just not additional 13% we are talking about, it's the additional 13% of the larger population base we have today, right? It was 18% of the smaller base and 31% of the larger base. Having said that, more so if we look at it in the last 10 years, it is 2.8% growth which is happening from to the urbanization. If we take the same estimate and if we look at what's going to happen in 10, 20, 30 years from now, 2050, by 2050 we are estimated to add 900 million people to the urban area of the country. Ladies and gentlemen, 900 million people is a huge number. It's almost 1/8 of the world population. Even if I let that go, and what Dr. Ahluwalia said, that by 2031 we will be about 600 million people in the urban area. What we are talking about is adding another 300 million people from today in next 20 years. 300 million people is like United States of America. So we have to provide housing for a United States of America within India in next 20 years. That's the kind of issue we are talking about. The larger states have the larger problem. Almost 76% of the urban housing shortages is in the 10 states. Interesting part is that Delhi, despite being very small, is still on the 13th number in when it comes to housing shortages. So let alone 2030, let alone 2050, even if you look at it today, we have more than 18 million household shortages in the urban area. And regrettably, most of these housing shortages, 95% of it, is in the EWS category and the LIG category. So MIG and HIG is being taken care